welcome. Thank you for joining me for this short flow class today. We are going to focus on the water element, and in Chinese medicine that's associated with the kidney and the bladder line, which runs up the back of the body, and it also corresponds with the superficial back line of fascia, which is a line of tissue that runs up the back line of the body. So when I think of water, the first thing I think of is maybe the more kind of giving giving in element of water, so the undulations, the flow of a river, the way that it will change and flow between rocks and between cracks. But then the other side of water is that it has many ways that it can flow. So it can be very strong and forceful, it can be a tidal wave, it can also be contained, as well as being a kind of rippling, slow moving river. But the main thing is that it's always changing. So if we can drop into that space of flow that is always changing, and perhaps out of the mind and the busyness, then we can experience this state of flow a little bit like water. So we will come to lie on our backs, and you can have your feet on the floor, the knees bent, or you can have your legs outstretched. Just take a moment and just feel into what feels good for you. And we're just going to place one hand on the low belly and one hand over the heart. And let the elbows rest down to the mat. Draw your chin in towards your chest and let the whole body weight be taken by the floor. And we'll just start by noticing the connection the body has with the floor. The backs of the legs, the pelvis, the rib cage and the head, the elbows resting on the floor. And then start to notice your breath coming in and out of your nostrils, and perhaps in and out of your mouth. Notice how you feel right now. So after lunch, perhaps a little bit full, perhaps you've had some time in nature. Maybe eyes tired from screen time. Just take a moment to tune in with how you feel right now. As you just allow your breath to flow in and out of the nostrils. No thought needed for that. It's going to happen no matter what you do, until it doesn't. On your next in-breath, we're going to take a full body stretch and spread the fingertips and the toes, reach the arms overhead and just take a big stretch. And then as you breathe out, just bring the arms alongside the body. Keep the legs outstretched. And then bring the feet a little closer together and press the heels down into the floor. So we're going to get in connection with that back line of tissue, that back line of fascia, by doing a little bit of a kind of jiggling. So press your heels strongly down into the floor, keep the arms alongside the body, and then start to point and flex the feet quite strongly. You might want to have a little look. So what's going to happen is that the rest of the body starts to respond to that movement. So depending on how your back line is doing, how much tension there is in the back line, it's going to depend on what's going to wiggle, what's going to stay still. But see if you can allow the head to nod, the hips to wriggle, and then even speed it up a little bit, so we're actually generating a little bit of heat in the back of the body. Make it even faster, faster still. And then completely relax. Come into Shavasana, let the arms and the legs relax, let the feet fall away from each other, and take a couple of breaths out through the mouth. I should mention that my partner's in the room with me if you hear any extra breathing. And just take
some big breaths out through the mouth, so really letting go of that out breath. I'm going to slide the feet in towards the hips, bend the knees, have the feet as wide as the mat, and bring the arms into a T shape. And we're just going to gently windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. Just easing out through the hips, a little bit of rotation. And you can stay like this, or if you'd like to add on, you can start to just let the top knee circle out and around. So when you roll your knees to the left, you're going to let the right knee come with you, circle out and around and back. Nice. And this isn't about perfect movement. This is more about how you feel. So maybe try closing your eyes once you have a sense of this. And you might even let yourself roll onto your side. You might let the arm move with you. Maybe the arm circles around as you move from side to side. Just take a couple more like this. And then come back to center. Wriggle down my mat. Hug your knees into your chest. And just give yourself a little hug and a rock from side to side, massaging the muscles on either side of the spine. And we're just going to hug the right knee in towards the chest now and lengthen the left foot up towards the ceiling. So you're hugging that right knee and lengthening the left foot up. And then slowly, slowly lower that left leg to the floor. So super slow, keeping the spine stable, pelvis stable. And you can let this right knee draw away from you in order to press the left leg down into the floor. So isometrically pressing that left leg down into the floor. If it feels a little bit too much for your low back right now, you can always bend that left knee. And we'll do a little flow here with our breath. So as you breathe in, we're going to reach the arms overhead and press the right foot up towards the ceiling. As you breathe out, draw your chin in towards your chest and hug that right knee in. Keep the left leg pressing down into the floor. So we're going to keep flowing like this. So breathing out, hugging that right knee in, breathing in, reaching away, pressing that right foot away. Full deep breaths. Keep pressing that left leg into the floor. I know my knee wants to bend. Keep that sense of press. One more. And then press the right foot up towards the ceiling and bring the arms back into a T shape. See if you can plug that right thigh bone down into your hip socket so the hips are stable. Keeping that sense of plugging that thigh bone in. Press the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling and then reach the right foot towards the left side. But we're not going to our end range here. We're just reaching maybe halfway to our end range. Keep the shoulder blades rooted and then place the left hand on the outside of your right thigh. And you're going to resist with the hand and press the thigh into the hand and the hand into the thigh. And then release. And just do that a couple of times. So resist, thigh into the hand, hand into the thigh. And then release. And one more. Resist. And release. And then slowly bring your foot back through center and out to the other side. Again, not to your end range. So reaching the foot out to the side. Right hand to the right thigh now. Again, press. Press hand to thigh, thigh to hand. And release. And press. And release. One more time, press. And then slowly bring the knee back to, the foot back to center and let that momentum take you over onto your left side. Bend the right knee, roll over onto your left side, and you can prop your head with your hand or you can just rest your head on your arm. Lengthening through the body, so drawing the tailbone or the top hip away from you. Either keep the right knee bent or lengthen it away. So a little bit more challenging with it lengthening away. We're going to lift and lower that right leg. So it doesn't have to be super high. Pressing the left leg down into the floor so we're activating. And we're not going to do too many like this. We're just finding that engagement in the outer hip. One more. And then as you lift, this time lift all the way and come back to center. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a bit of a hug. Maybe you're somewhere different on your mat now. And then we're going to hug the left knee in and press the right foot up towards the ceiling. Slowly lower that right leg to the floor. Pressing that right leg down into the floor as you draw the left knee in towards your chest. Just take a couple of deep breaths there. Filling this position with breath. And then again, beginning to flow. You can always bend this right knee if you need to. Breathe in, reach the arms overhead, press the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Breathe out, hug the knee in towards the chest. Breathe in, reach, lengthen, opening. Breathing out, hugging the knee in. Opening and then containing. Spreading the fingers, spreading the toes one more time. And then reaching arm and leg away. Bringing the arms into a T shape now. And again, plugging the left thigh bone into the hip socket. And then travel the left foot towards the right side, but not to your end range. Right hand to outside of the left thigh. Press. And release. Pressing thigh into hand, hand into thigh, engaging, and then releasing. One more time. And then slowly come back through center and come to the other side. So left foot to left side, left hand on inner thigh this time, and press. Engaging the inner thigh muscles and the outer thigh muscles, pressing a couple of times. Nice. And then slowly come back to center and then let that foot travel all the way over to the right. Let it roll you onto your right side. And you can prop your head up or you can rest your head on your arm. You can keep the knee bent or lift it up and then lengthen it away. Pressing this right leg into the floor, lifting and lowering. Nice and long through the spine as you lift and lower that leg. Nice. Engaging through the outer hip. Couple more. Keep that depth of breath. And then let that foot lift you all the way up towards the ceiling and all the way back onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a little rock. Nice. Draw your chin in towards your knees. And we're going to start to rock and roll on this spine now. So rocking backwards and forwards. And taking a moment to kind of catch at the end. And then allow your momentum to take you over into tabletop. Finding tabletop, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. We're going to do a rippling cat-cow, kind of kneeling sun salutation variation. So I just want to encourage you to have a slightly longer base. So bring your hands a little bit further forward of your shoulders here, just to give us a bit more space. So as you breathe in, send the chest forward into cow. As you breathe out, tuck the tail, nod the head, send the hips back into cat and then child's pose. As you breathe in, reach the arms up to a high knee position. Press your hips forward, open the chest. Breathe out, fold forwards, child's pose. Breathe in, ripple the chest forward into cow. Breathe out, ripple back into child's pose. Breathing in, reaching up, surging up, pressing into the shins. Breathing out, folding forwards into child's pose, like you're kind of not crashing down, landing down. Breathing in into cow, breathing out, cat to child's pose. And keep flowing like this a few more times. So breathing in, opening. Breathing out, folding down. See if you can do this with your eyes closed. And just threading your breath through your movement and imagining yourself like water, like a wave crashing on the shore, and maybe like the air around you is just as dense as water. So it adds some resistance and takes a little bit of the weight off. One more, and then make your way back to tabletop. Again, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. Spread your fingers, spread your toes, nice long spine. As you breathe in, lengthen right arm, left leg away. Pressing that left leg up towards the ceiling, right arm reaches away. Full deep breaths. Slowly lower the right hand down, lower the left foot down. So we're going to come into a modified plank here. You can move your right foot around any way you want to find a stable position, and then reach the left arm up. Full deep breaths. You're going to reach the left arm away from you now, so reaching opposition between left foot and left fingertips. Full deep breaths. And then hover the left foot off the floor. As you breathe out, draw the left elbow to the left knee, and then breathe in, lengthen away. Nice. Breathe out, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. Breathe in, lengthen away. One more time, breathing out, elbow to knee, knee to elbow. And this time, as we bring the elbow to knee, knee to elbow, we're going to step the left foot through, come to a low lunge. Nice. Grab your band, hopefully it's relatively close, or your strap, and bring it between your hands, a little bit wider than shoulder width apart initially. We're going to take a deep breath in, sweep the arms up so you're pulling on the band. And do a little bit of shoulder flossing as we wave through the spine. So as you breathe in, open the chest, reach the arms back. Keep the ribs, the low ribs connected to the hips. As you breathe out, reach the arms forward, lengthen forward. Breathe in, open the chest, press the hips forward. Flossing through the shoulders, breathing out, folding. And allow your spine to move with you, lengthening, rippling through the spine. One more like this. And then place the band down in front of you, flex the back foot, press into the back toes, reach the arms up, come to crescent lunge. Full deep breaths. We're going to do a similar kind of flow, that kind of surging forward, flowing action. Find that kind of, a little bit of a bounce in the feet. So we've got a little bit of ground reaction force lifting up. We're feeling our relationship to the floor. We're going to sweep the arms back and then reach them forward into arrowhead. So breathe in, sweep them back. Breathe out, reach them forward. Breathe in, sweep back. And then as you come forward into arrowhead, see if you can bring the weight into the front foot. As you go back, weight into the back foot. So we're changing our relationship with the floor, weight into the front foot. And then see if you can start to play with it. So as you bring your weight into the front foot, maybe you lift the back foot. And you can change the direction of your arms. So you could try sweeping the arms back and then surging them forward. Nice. One more like this. And then come back to find crescent. Lower the back knee down. Land the hands to the floor, and we're going to walk the hands towards the center of our mat and let the knees come with us. Bend the left knee down to the floor. Reach the left arm towards the right side of the room. And then walk back. Coming back and reaching. And we're just going to do a few like this. So start to make this your body. So you're reaching to the side and then to the other side. So you might want to keep putting the knees down, or you might want to stay high. Again, see if you can move like water. See if you can move with your own rhythm, your own flow. You might even, at the end of your movement, have a go at lifting. And next time you're at the front of your mat, land the right hand down, land the right knee down. Spiral the left arm around and just take a few circles. So reaching the left arm forward and then back behind. Full deep breaths. Keep reaching the left arm back behind you now. And then if it feels good to you, slowly bend the right knee. If that feels okay in your knee joint, you might want to pop
You might want to roll up your mat if that was a little bit better in the knee joint. We're just going to reach the hand for the foot for the hand, but we're not going to grab it. Full deep breaths. One more full deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, windmill that left arm forward, land the toes. Flex the back foot, sweep this left leg back into three-legged dog, and just open out into scorpion dog. Full deep breaths. Slowly land the foot down, back to downward dog. Land the knees down, send the chest forward, cow. Ripple back through cat into child's pose and stay in child's pose for a couple of deep breaths. Next in-breath, press into the shins, reach up, lift the chest, lift the heart. And as you breathe out, send the hips back, land the hands down. Breathe in, ripple the chest forward, cow. This time stay here, find tabletop. Take a deep breath in, lengthen left arm, right leg away. Pressing away through that right heel, lifting that right foot up towards the ceiling, but keeping the hips level. Slowly land the left hand down, right foot down. Sweep the right arm away from right foot, so opposition between that right foot and right hand. Full deep breaths. You might want to wiggle that foot around to find a more stable position, the left foot. Hover the right leg. And as you breathe out, bend the right knee towards the right elbow. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, knee to elbow. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, knee to elbow. Breathe in, lengthen. This one we're going to step through. So knee to elbow and let that foot come through with your knee and your elbow. Nice. Grab your band again. Hands a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You can always adjust them based on what it felt like last time. Rooting down into your feet. Sweep the arms up, and again, flossing through the shoulders. So breathing in, coming back, breathing out, coming forward. When you're reaching forward, and this next time, land the band down in front of your mat. Flex the back foot, lift the back knee, come up to crescent lunge. Soften, pressing down into your feet. And again, playing with this flow backwards and forwards. So try reaching, opening as we did with the band, and then surging forward, lifting up onto the front foot perhaps this time. So have a little play without lifting the back foot first. And then when you feel ready to, start to lift the back foot and just have a little play with bringing the weight into the front foot. And maybe holding it for a moment in that balance. Kind of variation of warrior 3. And then slowly land the back toes down. Land the back knee down. I'm going to do that little flow again. So walking the hands to the center of your mat and then back to the back of your mat. Reaching the right arm back to the back of the room. And then swapping left arm back to the front of the room. And you might stay with this kind of flow, reaching and dropping the knees down, or keep the knees raised and add that reach. So you can always land your knees down for support, hand on a thigh for support, or you can just have a little play with your arms. See how your arms want to move. Does that back arm want to internally rotate? Does it want to externally rotate? Nice, one more. And then come back to the front of your mat. Land the left hand down, left knee down. Sweep the right arm forward and take some big circles. Let your chest come with you. So let the torso move, let the body move with your arm. Next time you reach back, keep the arm reaching back. And if it feels good for you, maybe rolling the mat over to support your knee, Slowly bend the left knee. Just keep reaching for that left foot, but we're not going to grab it. We're going to keep reaching, engaging into the back of the body to reach, but still lengthening. Full deep breaths. And then slowly landing that foot down. Wimble the arm to frame the front foot. Lengthen the back leg, so flexing that back foot. Lift that right leg up into the air and just open out into scorpion dog for a moment. Opening through the front of the right hip flexor. And then slowly lower that right foot down. As you breathe in, lower the knees, lift the heart. Cow. As you breathe out, ripple through cat. Come to find child's pose. And have a little wiggle around in child's pose. Find the child's pose that works for you. So that might be arms alongside the body, it might mean outstretched, might mean even between the legs, and resting the forehead on the mat. And take full deep breaths here. And then slowly stack the spine to come up to kneeling. And just roll over onto one side and lengthen the legs out in front of you. And once you're here, you can have a soft bend in the knees. If you're finding it a bit tricky to lengthen the spine, you can pop yourself up on a blanket or a block. And then breathe and float the arms up. Breathe out, clasp the hands behind your head and press the back of the head into your hands. So we're going to stay active first. Actively lengthening through the spine, take a deep breath in. And then as you breathe out, start to fold. Keep the chin drawing in towards the chest. Breathe in, lengthen. Breathe out, fold. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, fold. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out, fold. And then we'll allow ourselves to melt into a more yin version of this pose. Let the feet relax. Bring the arms alongside the body. Or rest them on your shins. You might even hug the arms underneath. And just land into this. Close your eyes. And take a couple of breaths out through the mouth. Softening through the back line. Letting go. Accepting whatever this feels like for you right now. And just taking 2 more full deep breaths, flooding this asana, this moment with breath. And then super slowly stacking the spine. And just as slowly, perhaps with your eyes closed, roll down onto your back. Bring your feet as wide as your mat again. And just tick-tock your knees from side to side. And then let your knees fall to the right side. Just allow them to land there. And reach your left arm overhead, so that arm's still along your body, along your mat, but just reaching, lengthening through the left side of the body. Maybe even placing your right hand on the outside of your left side of your rib cage, and just take some deep breaths into that hand. Relax the jaw, relax the face. And just dropping into the floor beneath you, allowing your weight to be taken by the floor. And then slowly rolling back to center and over to the other side. Knees fall to the left, arm reaches, right arm reaches up.
Left hand to right ribs and take some deep breaths. Softening. Notice if there's any part of you that could soften. It doesn't need to be holding on. And then slowly, in your own time, make your way to Shavasana. That might mean knees bent, might mean something underneath your knees, or legs lengthen away, feet fall away from each other. Palms of the hands face up towards the ceiling. And just take a couple of breaths out through the mouth, sighing the breath out and letting the body be taken by the floor. Close your eyes. Visualize you're floating. You're floating in a warm body of water, just the right temperature. Just the right amount of salt to mean that your body just floats. So the weight of your body is being taken by the water and you can just allow yourself to relax. You can allow yourself to just float. And just give yourself these last couple of minutes just to rest, to drop into a little deeper relaxation. Things are. Everything is always in flow. When we're in flow, we're aware of that flow. We're in truth. And we're able to surf the waves of life. Often fear, shame, conditioning can find their ways to block our experience of flow. So can we learn from water? Can we learn to accept and to step forward, not without fear, but with grace and ease, experiencing fear, experiencing feeling, but not being clouded by those things. So when you feel ready to start moving into this next moment, this next experience, because it's going to happen anyway, even if you're not ready, just start to take a bit of a stretch. Start to move through fingers and toes. And take some deeper breaths. And then hug your knees into your chest. And as slowly and mindfully as you possibly can, come up to find a comfortable seat. Cross-legged, kneeling on a block. Legs outstretched. And just place one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly as we began. Noticing how you feel right now. Softening into this moment as it is right now. Breathing energy, spaciousness into your body, into your heart.
just start to float the arms away from the body and just feeling that sense of space as you reach the arms overhead. Again, as if you're moving through water, bring the hands in front of your heart into prayer. And we'll close together with one Om, so full cycle of breath together first. Take a deep breath in and a big breath out. And then breathing into Om.